Ladies and gentlemen, this is Amit Sharma and I'm back with another session of DTJF SAMVAD, a Jeweller's Talk Show, a podcast series by Informa Markets and Surat, the Voice of Jewelers. And today we have with us one of the eminent personalities of the gems and jewelry industry, Mr. Sriram Natarajan, Managing Director, GIA India. Hello, sir. I welcome you today to this interesting session of DTJF SAMVAD. So, how did you enter the gems and jewelry industry?
Amit, I entered the gems and jewelry industry 5 years back. So I originally come from the manufacturing, the industrial manufacturing is the space that I come from.
All right.
I came to GIA through a referral, right? Somebody that I used to work with, right, who currently works with GIA, and he reached out to me, and that was my introduction to the gem and jewelry industry. Now, when I started interviewing, right, over 5 years back, what I found was GIA was a very special company. Right? It was very unique, right, from the conversations that I had with the executive leadership team, the kind of focus and the on the mission that they had, the simplicity, the humility that they brought to the table. So all of that, right, is what brought me to this industry.
All right. So, what appeals to you in this industry, sir?
Oh, many things, Amit. I think the first that I would say is the role that India plays in this industry. Right, the significance that India brings is something that I really am impressed about. Right, with this industry, I've worked with many other industries where India is an important region, but then doesn't have the level of significance, right, that India has with the gem and jewelry industry. So that is one for sure. The other is, having come to this industry, one of the aspects that I'm really impressed with is the entrepreneurship, the family entrepreneurship, which I believe is very, very unique in this industry. The kind of commercial acumen that the entrepreneurs of this industry bring, right, to the trade is exceptional, which probably is one of the reasons why we enjoy the position that we do, right? So it's another aspect that I think is quite impressive. The other one I would say is GIA's own position, right, in this industry, the consumer protection role that we play. So these are a few that I would name are quite interesting about the industry.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, if I would ask you, like, how would you describe GIA in 3 words? And what is the vision for the GIA?
3 words is difficult, but a few that I can think of: independence, right, is one. The fact that we're able to bring in an independent view. The second is the consumer protection, right? I know that's 2 words, right? But it's a key part of our mission. So consumer protection is another important aspect. And then the last that I would say is integrity and trust, right? So these are some words that come handy or come very easily when you think of GIA as an institute.
Okay. So, what is your vision for GIA?
Yeah, continuing the consumer protection mission, right, is in the center of everything that we do. Now, in order to do that, right, there are many aspects that we work on. Digital transformation is an important one. Automation, right, so that we can bring more and more consistency and quality, right, to what we do. So there are many aspects. Sustainability, right, is another important piece that we work on. So these are all areas that we work on, but eventually all of this support our consumer protection mission.
Right. Okay. So we are very much aware that GIA is playing a very vital role in the gems and jewelry industry, right from the laboratory to institutions. It's catering to wide segment. So what are we expecting from GIA in the coming months?
I tell you, we very busy with a lot of activity that is going on.
Sure.
One that I would name is the digital transformation.
Okay.
Um, and we'll begin to see some of this very shortly, right? In the early part of 2023, we will transition from our paper reports, right, that we have been issuing for 7, 8 decades.
Okay.
Right? Transitioning from that into digital reports, right, is one of the most important transitions that's going to happen. And over a period of time, right, we believe by 2025, all of our reports, right, we start with the dossier, but then all of it, right, will go digital. Also, sustainability is a very significant part of that. Right? And there's an enormous amount of paper and plastic that we use today, and this digital transformation as well supported.
Right.
Along with that comes what is called the Match ID. Right, it's another important innovation, right, that will also be introduced in the early part of next year. Now, with Match ID, what we're able to do is for a consumer, right, who buys a diamond, it's his ability to know that the diamond that he or she is purchasing is the diamond that the GIA certified, right?
Mhm.
And so, using artificial intelligence, right, and our ability to match a diamond using cloud, right, images that we store in the cloud is
Mhm.
another important technology that we're going to come up with. In fact, we had this on display at the IIJS, and we expect to have that at the GJS show as well.
Okay.
Um, Source verification is another important one that we recently launched, and we're going to continue to expand on the source verification space.
All right.
So the modern day customer is very keen to understand where their stones come from, right? Have they been ethically sourced, right? And it is our goal to be able to bring that information. We believe we are well suited,
Mhm.
to bring that information to consumers. So we started with natural diamonds. Now we're working with a core team of laboratory grown manufacturers also to introduce the same service.
All right.
So source verification is an important addition that we have. Education, our offerings, particularly in jewelry design, right? We're working closely with institutes as well as with several of the trade organizations, right, and awards relating to jewelry design.
Mhm.
Um, Hybrid is a new program that we introduced, and we want to continue, going hybrid, right, with some of our key programs, so
Mhm.
that people who are away from Mumbai, who are unable to leave their day jobs, right, and are
True.
able to come here, are
True.
still able to enjoy GIS programs.
That's
So there are many. Automation, as I said earlier, is another one.
okay.
So we're busy with activity.
Okay, lovely, lovely. I'm so looking forward for the future game changers. We have seen now you came up with Pearl certification recently, and that turned out to be a game changer in this sector. What is the market response for it?
Very positive. Amit, we've seen a lot of pearls that have come into our facility for identification in the
Mhm.
last 3 months.
All right.
We began this service in the end of May. To date, we've seen over 13,000 pearls, right, in various forms, right, in loose, in strands, in jewelry that have come to us.
Okay.
And so the response has been very good. In fact, we're beginning to see response for SK jewelry, right? That is owned by individuals, the retailers, and even auction houses, right? We're beginning to see a lot of interest, right, in that area, and which is one that we will be exploring in the days to
Lovely, lovely. So coming back to understanding, can you please share one of your achievements or a compliment that is very dear to you and you hold it close to your heart?
with oftentimes when you ask this question, right, we always have to think harder because we always remember what somebody said you need to improve in, right?
Of course.
But I will name one. um, you see, GIA as an organization is integrity and what we do, right, is the core of our business. But how we do it, right, with engaging our employees and making them a part of our organization is a very important part of what we
True.
do. COVID, for example, is a time when we had a lot of employees who came up to us and said, we feel safe, we feel safer in GIA, right, when we come to work, right? I feel that is a very significant compliment, right, that goes not only to me but all of us as leaders in the organization.
Mhm.
So
Certainly.
it helps. Yeah, it helped even during those difficult times, right, to bring people together and be focused on what it is that we had to do to serve the industry.
Mhm.
So
All
I
right.
would name that as well.
Okay. Perfect. So, are you a Bollywood buff?
Bollywood to some extent,
All right.
but also uh, Hollywood, Tollywood, right, and a few others.
All right.
Yeah. So I come from the state of Tamil Nadu. I am also have roots to the state of Kerala.
All right.
So yeah, I watch Malayalam movies, I watch Tamil movies, I watch
Okay.
Hindi movies.
All right.
Nobody in India can be deprived of Hollywood, right?
I'm sure. So, who is your favorite actor, if I may ask you?
Well, I have many of my favorite actors from the south.
All right.
Um, uh, Malayalam movie actors like Mohanlal and Mammootty are certainly on the top of the list.
All
Okay.
right.
Amir Khan certainly in Bollywood, right, brings some excellent acting
All
to the
right.
screens.
Okay. Great, sir. If I may ask you, like, who's the most interesting person you have met?
I've met a lot of interesting people in my career. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanna speak about my dad. In fact, I will include in that list my father-in-law, right, my wife's father.
All right.
Very, very interesting. And I will say why. Now,
Okay.
these are people who grew up with very limited means.
Mhm.
Okay. With those limited means, not only supported their families, right, but then supported their large extended family almost selflessly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then also had a very clear differentiation. They worked for a certain number of years. My dad is in his 34th year of retirement.
Okay.
Also was able to clearly differentiate between work life, retirement, right, and be engaged in what he loves to do, right. Um, I think I think those are aspects of both of them, right, my father as well as my father-in-law, that
All right.
really excite me. And at the end of all this, right, they still live a life of contentment,
That is true.
okay, with not a large bank balance,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but with a big heart. I think these are folks who really have interested me, and there's a ton of things to learn from.
Mhm. Certainly, sir. That's very appealing, and we definitely understand that the way of life, and that's the quality of life we should always aim to. Right. If you had a chance to speak with anyone in the world, whether living or dead, with whom would you like to have a conversation with, and why?
Living, certainly my wife.
All
We
right.
we share a very special relationship. We've been married for 27 years,
Beautiful.
um, and going for 50. Right.
All right.
But I lost my mother last year.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And if there is a person that I would want to speak with is my mother. And one of the reasons that I would want to is oftentimes when people live, we take them for granted.
That's true.
Right. And I felt, right, when she was perfectly fine one day and not there the next day, that there were some things that I wish I had said.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the reasons that I would want to speak.
But yeah, I think so. We should value everybody's presence. I think that's very important. So, if I want to ask you, which invention or technology do you feel is the most important to humans?
Well, there are so many. I would pick medicines, right? The innovation, the invention
Mhm.
in vaccines, right, over the last 50, 70, 100 years, um, I would say is one of the most significant inventions of our times.
Mhm.
Uh, 50, 60 years back, right, life expectancy was 40. Today it is over 70,
Correctly.
right?
Yes.
And the fact that we all live today, right, is a testament to enormous amount of innovation and advancements that have happened in medical technology.
That's
So
true.
I think that is one that I would certainly give a lot of points to.
All right. So, I would like to know who Mr. Sriram Natarajan is as a person. We have seen your side on the professional platform, but in a personal life, who is he as a person?
Other husband, son, brother. Yeah, I think that's one of the most important roles that I play. Okay, both during work and outside of it, right? And again, work and family almost always commingle, right? You need one to be successful in the other. Yeah.
True.
But I also have a lot of interest. I have interest in music. I'm a student of Carnatic music.
Oh,
Okay, so I still learn. In fact, I started learning about 5 years back, right?
okay.
And I continued. So I listen to Carnatic music. I listen to old songs, right? 60s, 70s, 80s is my favorite. Malayalam, Tamil, Hindi.
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of books, right? I before I came to GIA, I was a trained coach. I still am a trained coach. I'm a leadership coach.
Okay.
Um, and I read a lot, right, in the areas of people, right, and people behaviors, right, and changing behaviors. That is one of the areas of my interest.
All right.
Little bit with neuroscience, right? I try to dabble in some of those areas. So I do a lot of reading.
All right.
Cricket. I have a cricket ball in my office all the time, right? So this is I love cricket. Right? In fact, we're a family who loves cricket. We all dress up, right, every time India is playing.
Okay.
So those are what I do.
All right. So, what does Mr. Sriram Natarajan do for fun?
This is it, right? As I said, cricket, a lot of family time,
Mm-hmm.
reading. Okay, is a lot of fun for me.
All right.
I don't. So I yeah. So those are some of the things that I do. For I exercise quite regularly. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So those are my areas of fun. Children, right? You see, the best part of children is you have different stages of them, right? As they grow. My wife and I all often think of them when they were 2, 3, 4 years old, right? And today they are 16 and 18 years of age, and it's a different set of challenges. It's a different kind of fun, right, that you have with children as well.
Great, sir. So now we have came up to our rapid fire section where I'm going to give you one word and you have to reply with the first thing that comes to your mind. What comes to your mind when I say Sriram Natarajan?
I would say work in process,
All right. GIA,
integrity,
diamonds,
rarity,
role model.
Mahatma Gandhi. I just want to add something to that. I've read a lot about his life, and the way he took himself really out of materialism, right, to drive a cause, right, is something that has truly impressed
True, 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 sir. Um, life,
me. Gift from God. Enjoy every minute of it. Take and bring value to others.
right? Food,
Love. Food is love, right? And wow. I mean, as an Indian, um, I mean, we should be proud of the variety that we bring in food. So I
certainly.
love
All right, sir. What comes to your mind when I say friends?
completeness, right? It completes your life.
All right.
So
Guilty pleasure.
guilty pleasure. My Saturday evening large single malt, right, is my guilty pleasure. I love good whiskey, and that's what
All right. Perfect, sir. You have been very sportingly. You have played the session. We come to an end of this podcast series. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely connecting with you today.
I
Thank you.
Amit, thank you very much. I really enjoyed being a part of this. Thank you, Amit. Good day.
Thank you so much, sir. It was lovely talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of this podcast series. Thank you so much for your love and affection. Amit Sharma signing off. Goodbye.